Hi, I'm Mark Jansen, the grunter guitar player of Epica. I founded the band in 2002, so I'm with them ever since.
I'm Isaac Delay. I'm from Belgium and I play guitar in Epica.
Well, I'm Koen. I've been in the band from the beginning, since 2002, and I play the keyboards and the piano.
My name is Arjen van Wezenbeek. I'm 32 years old. I'm the drummer of Epica.
My name is Rob van der Loo. It's not Rob Vanderloo like most people say, but anyway, I'm 33 years old. I played in numerous bands before. I've been active in this metal scene for since I was 16 or something, so it's been quite a while.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Simone, singer of Epica since 10 years. We recently had our biggest show ever, Retrospect, and Epica is still going strong. And yeah, we're very grateful for that.
Since that I heard, already since I was a kid, I already loved classical music and also metal music. And I was always dreaming how would these two styles fit together. And when bands like The Gathering started doing that, it was like, wow, it's possible, and I want to do that too.
I joined the band in 2007 officially, October 2007. First I joined in with the recording of the Divine Conspiracy album in 2006. And I did some session work afterwards, a tour in the USA and some festival shows. And then October 2007 I joined the ranks officially.
I joined the band on the 8th of January in 2009. So that's a little more than 4 years now. 2 albums I've done so far. I was playing in a death metal band, God Dethroned, also a Dutch metal band. So basically I toured the world with them as well for 4 years, together with Arjen on drums. I also went to the College of Music in Rotterdam, Holland. And that's basically what I did before, always did stuff with music.
Yeah, I played with Epica in the time when they still were called Sahara Dust. They were actually a support band for my band at the time. But one day I got a phone call from Mark. He said, look, we have a little problem. We have a few shows coming up and Yves won't be able to do that. Are you interested in maybe being a substitute bass player for that show? I said, okay, why not? I sound interested, of course. In the end, I had to cancel those shows because my brother-in-law had his marriage, so I couldn't do that. But anyway, you already know that I was interested in maybe doing that in the future as well. It was starting to get a little bit obvious that Yves wasn't able to, do the whole Epica job anymore because he had this other job besides Epica. And one day they asked me, like, if it ever happens that Yves would leave the band, would you be interested in following up? So of course I would be considering to do that. Well, he decided that it was better for him to do one more show and then, give the flag to me. And I got the call right away and I said yes right away, and I was really excited to do it. And the rest is history, of course.
When I compare our first album, The Phantom Agony, to our last album, the latest album, Requiem for the Indifferent, then I see a big evolution. And it has, one reason is it has to do with the new band members. For example, Isaac Delay and Arjen van Wezenbeek. And now recently Rob joined the band. These guys all contribute something different than the old guys. And I think it's a good thing for a band to sometimes have some new, fresh elements in the band. For example, Design Universe was basically written already, the whole album, when Isaac joined the band. But that guy did a great job. He started working on the guitar parts, and within no time all the songs sounded way better than before. And the same happened when Arjen also, when he joined the band, it was yes, he had a different style than Jeroen Simons. Jeroen Simons is a really great drummer, and he's a very versatile drummer. He has some influences out of jazz fusion. And Arjen, he's a totally different drummer, and when he joined the band, we could do some things that we couldn't do before. So every band member, when he joined the band, brought something new into the band.
Being in a band for 10 years, being in this band, and we are quite successful, and never when we started, I never imagined that I would stand here in a venue we just sold out, talking about 10 years of Epica. You know, it's been a boy's dream, and I'm really thankful that we are able to do this. It's also because of our hard work and our dedication, but also because people are, you know, staying with us and keep following us and are really devoted to the band as well, you know, and because of that we can keep on going and writing new stuff and you know, putting up shows like we did.
The idea of doing Retrospect was that with every album so far, like The Phantom Agony, Consent to Oblivion, The Divine Conspiracy, when we've had some sort of jubilee, like 5-year jubilee, we made a special show where we played the majority or even the whole CD as it was on the CD. Normally we play a nice mixture out of all our CDs, and yeah, we try to make a celebration out of everything. So for a metal band to be still around after 10 years is a big achievement. We've decided to invite the original band members from Epica, our drummer Jeroen Simons, guitarist Art Sluiter, and our bass player Yves Hutz, because they're also part of the 10-year history and we're still on good terms with them, and we thought we wanted to invite the band members to play an old Epica song, and Creators was the song we've chosen to do with them because it was one of the best live shows. It's from the second record where still all of the 3 ex-band members were on, so they all said yes. They were very excited about it and looking forward to celebrate Retrospect with us, and it was a huge success. The show is called Retrospect, where we are all kind of reminiscing on what happened with Epica during the years. We've taken some old elements, and the choir and orchestra from Hungary is part of our past, so we wanted to have them in our show.
It felt really great to work with the orchestra again. The first time was for the Classical Conspiracy album in Hungary, and there we met them for the first time. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if these people would appreciate our music. We thought they would play their parts and say horrible music, but we just do our job. But then actually many of these guys from the orchestra came to us and told us how much they appreciated our music. And we could see in their eyes and their passion, how they spoke about it, that they meant it.
I did some rock operas before when I still studied at the Rock Academy, and so I had a little bit experience with playing with those kind of musicians. But right now with Epica, I mean, this music is really written for actually to be played with an orchestra, because people were pretty skeptical before, like, oh, there's another rock band doing that same trick like Metallica did before, or Deep Purple that did it back in the end 60s. But no, this music fits in so well. I mean, it's written for an orchestra.
It comes to life in a certain way because it's sometimes not totally perfect. It's not played perfectly all the time, or it sounds more human. And that's also what we heard afterwards, that people were really overwhelmed by the impact of people performing this kind of music.
To be in the middle of the choir and everybody's starting to sing, and it all creates this one big wall of sound, so that's just yeah, magical.
The show was simply amazing. It was something we have been working on for the past year. To see the whole venue filled with almost 5,000 people and cheering, and it's an amazing feeling that we can do this, you know, as a small band from Holland.
Yeah, last week I was still on a high the whole week. You know, I was like, yeah, we pulled it off, and it was just a magnificent project.
Well, in the 10 years, I believe we've been on the road for 5 years. Epica is one of those bands which tours like 6 months, a year, worldwide.
On the yearly basis, annual basis, I guess we do over 100 shows, but last year we've done 3 tours in a row with 2 weeks between tours. I just love to go on tour, and I love to play shows. I mean, that's what drives me to be in a band.
Personally, I really love touring in a tour bus. That's, for me, it feels like a second home. I think if you don't feel it like that, you will have a really hard time on the road.
There's one bad thing about this, that you have to wait a lot, of course. Especially when you do flight tours, you're actually spending more time in the flight hall waiting to catch your flight than actually being on stage or whatever. So that's actually quite boring. But what I do like about being on the road, especially when you're in a tour bus, is that especially when you have a little bit time off, that you can actually use that time to, you know, taste other cultures, meet different people. I mean, I can say right now that I have friends from all over the world, and that's great. I mean, there are a few people who can say the same thing, that they actually been almost everywhere on this planet.
Touring, you can make it as rock and roll as you want, but well, we like to party every now and then, or at least some of the band members. Yeah, I guess I'm one of them. And yeah, we also realize we can't do that every night because the music we play is pretty demanding.
Touring has its positive and its less positive sides. The positive sides are, of course, waking up every morning, being in a new city. You just walk out of the bus, trying not to get killed. When you're in England, for example, you have to look the other way, and sometimes the bus is parked right on the street. And we have this big sign at the door, like, please watch out before you go out of the bus. Sometimes when we're a little bit sleepy, things can go wrong. But yeah, just traveling, that part is amazing. You have your bed always close by, which is cool, because when you're, for example, touring in Latin America, you're then hanging in the backstages and you can't just go to the bus to lie down quickly, to relax or so. And I'm a big bed person, I like to lie in bed. Seeing the fans, of course, but really the big positive side for me is the traveling part. I love to travel. And the negative sides might be that after a while you have to imagine that you're sometimes with 18 people in a bus for 5 weeks. And I'm lucky that I'm short because I don't bump my head so often, but the guys have lost probably various brain cells by hitting their heads on the ceiling.
It has some great moments. You can also sometimes be very annoyed by each other. And one of the things that you always get annoyed with sooner or later is the air conditioning. Some people like it hot, some people like it warm. And that's always the one that in any band causes the problems.
Power in Epica is also that if there is something happening, that you kind of put it on the table and you just try to figure it out, and it's a team and you have to be aware of that, and you just have to put it out there and talk about it.
Sounds a bit, you know, stupid, but yeah, if I would choose people to be in a bus with for a month or 5 weeks, then I would choose them. It's easy, you know, everybody knows what everybody does. There are good relationships. Yeah, it's good.
I think in general, metal fans all over the world have a lot of things in common. So that's the thing that's the same. Metal fans are really dedicated to their music because it's not usually on the radio, so it's more like a way of life. You like this music, you find it out by yourself or by friends when you're a kid. And that's why the scene is so strong and why there's so much friendships in metal all over the world, actually.
You know, you can ask that every band, how the fans are different. You know, fans are just different because people are different. I guess for us, you know, every time South America comes up, you see a smile because fans there are so passionate and energetic.
It's really weird because here in Holland we are pretty sober-minded, which on the other hand is pretty good because it keeps you really down to earth. For instance, I live in Rotterdam and people are like, okay, when they ask you like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I say, well, I play in a rock band and I tour over the world. They are like, oh, that's very nice. What's on TV tonight? You know, that's the big difference between Holland, for instance, and let's say Latin America. People over there are very passionate and they really treat you like rock stars over there. I mean, sometimes you can't even walk on the street because when they recognize you, you really have a problem.
Yeah, basically we have crazy fans everywhere. We have silent fans, we have loud fans.
In South America, they get really wild when and that generates a lot of energy. And when you're on stage, you feel this energy coming from the crowd. And it's always this interaction. You are able to give also more energy back, and then when this this interaction raises and heats up, then you get this boiling point and you feel like playing your best gig ever. And these moments are the best moments of live shows, when you really feel you're into it, you're not thinking, it's just happening.
We are writing music that we like, and it's amazing other people like it as well. But you get this invisible connection to the fans, because they connect to the music, the emotions, the lyrics. They have experienced similar experiences in their life, and lots of fans have grown up with Epica.
If I had to choose between festival shows or club shows, it's a very difficult choice. I guess for me they go hand in hand. If I've done a lot of club shows, I want to play some festival shows, and the other way around.
Both have their own charm. For example, a festival is a little bit more a challenge, because you often play in front of people that don't know you, so you have to try to convert them to the Epica side. And I love the ambience on festivals. Festivals for me are the opportunity to meet my colleagues in the metal scene, and I have quite a few, but I see them too little, unfortunately. And I just love the smell of sausages and soft drugs. That's a typical festival scent. Beer and urine, that's not so nice, but that's also part of it. It's all mixed together to this typical festival scent.
I personally prefer club shows because you can do a whole production by yourself, and yeah, it's completely your thing. People are there for the band and not necessarily just checking you out. That's the whole thing with festivals, you know.
That's the thing I like about being in a band, that you have albums, so those are kind of highlights, though I don't really like the whole atmosphere of recording because it has to be perfect. But touring is also cool, you get to meet people. Festivals are cool, but club shows are also cool, so it's difficult to pick something out, but I think in general the highlight would be that I can pay my bills with something like this, which is something I never thought would happen. And we're basically working for it every day, and I think that is already a highlight. And everything else, for instance the Retrospect show or every tour we do, every album, is part of this highlight. And it's very cheesy, I guess, to say it like that, but I still feel privileged that I can do this.
When I was in school, I already wanted to do this, and then I always believed in it, and it also, you know, I worked hard to get here. And of course you have highlights. First time playing on a festival like Graspop in Belgium, you know, it was a festival I went to as a kid, and I saw the stage and I thought, wow, if you could ever play there. And now basically we play there every other year, and it's so strange to do that. And it's I don't want to say it's becoming a routine, but you know, it's feeling really natural to walk backstage there. And then, you know, only 10 years ago I was hoping to ever be able to play on that festival.
Well, one of my highlights in the past 6 years for me, I guess it's been the Classical Conspiracy project. Yeah, and that was, for me, an artistic point of view, let's say, it was one of the highlights. I guess also one of the highlights for me is just to be able to make those tours, especially in those times of financial crisis and stuff, and that it's a difficult time for everyone, is that we are able to pull this off, and in a very successful way.
If I have to name a personal highlight, it sounds really a bit funny, but it's the Retrospect show. That's where everything came together. It's like a pyramid. We're working 10 years our asses off, and then if you in your own country, you can do such a show, and suddenly from one week to the other, all the media who didn't care so much about us before are interested and writing about it, and it was like a massive tsunami of media going all over us. And yeah, for me that was a highlight. It's a recognition you get after so many years.
Yeah, live next to Epica. Well, to be honest, I've been in the band for now like 13 months or something, and it was like almost 13 months of non-stop touring. So I didn't really have a life next to Epica, to be honest. But yeah, when I'm at home, I like just to enjoy the peace, being home. I love to be on the road, by the way. This is really one of the things that I really enjoy of being in a band. I think that's even more interesting than the whole studio process, to be honest. I really love to watch movies, of course. I'm quite similar to Arjen in that aspect. I love to go out with my girlfriend, go out, have dinner together. I like to enjoy the time with my friends, which is, of course, we don't have much time to spend together, and so it's very precious to keep that time together. And that's like basically it, because yeah, my life is being on the road.
Outside of Epica, my life is pretty normal, actually. Well, not normal, because I don't have to do anything else. So we are fortunate enough to be able to live from the band. So when there's nothing to do for the band, which isn't that often, but then I just do groceries, and I have a daughter which I'm trying to raise, and I do some housework, cooking, cleaning. Basically all the non-rock star stuff you can imagine.
My life besides Epica is watching movies, cooking, being at home, spending time with family and friends, with my loved ones. Besides touring with the band, I like to tour with my own car. I mean, I live in the south of Germany, which is really beautiful, so I like to explore that whenever I get the chance, when there's nice weather. You can always have Kaffee and Kuchen in Germany, so I like to bake cakes, pies, eat them, and just enjoy life. I don't have a wild lifestyle besides Epica.
There's not much time left for any other parts, but I like reading once in a while, but most of the time it has to do with music in a certain way. As I said, it's more than just recording and going on tour, and it's much more than people would assume. For instance, doing the business side is something which is huge. With a band like Epica, there's so much stuff to be done, and I really like that side.
What I do when I have some time off, I try to chill out at home. I do some housekeeping, I do some gaming, you know, some PC games. I try to cycle, I go to the gym. Well, I also joined the project Mayan, which includes 4 other Epica members. And so yeah, but that's more like on a project basis. We do every now and then we do a show.
I find a lot of relaxing moments with cycling, sports in general. I love to sport, and when I sport, I can really make my head clear and be ready, reload the batteries, and yeah, that's something I really need. I cannot do 24 hours a day being busy with Epica. I would get completely crazy.
Well, the future. Well, if it comes to Epica, we just want to go where we are right now. We just want to keep proceeding. The cool thing about the band is also one of the most important things when I joined the band is that this is still a band which is growing. And the cool thing what I like about the band is that they don't want to do it too much, because there are a lot of bands who really force it to break through and whatever. And what I like about this band is that they're taking their time for it. And everybody has the goal, like the next album has to be better than the earlier album. And I like to keep that in mind. Just keep exploring the world, trying to explore different new countries. I mean, I think it's really cool what we're going to do next month. We're going to China, we're going to Taiwan, we're going to Australia and Indonesia, where we've never been before, or at least we never toured before. And I like to keep that going on. You know, keep exploring the world, keep growing as a musician, keep growing as a band, keep growing as a team. That's very important, I guess.
Yeah, we always look for ways to grow, to develop our sound and our music and ourselves, and to give bigger and better shows. Yeah, and to just keep the ball rolling and make it more spectacular.
It's still going upwards, and as long as that's the case, and I still do it with joy and pride, then I think that's how it should be.
Well, when I look back on those 10 years with Epica, I can say that I'm very content and very satisfied with what I've achieved so far together with the boys. Time has gone by really fast. Sometimes things go so fast you can't even think of what's happening right now. So big shows like this or big things in the career are a great time to look back on your career and try to reminisce on what has happened so far.
Just like a show we did here, it's the energy you get from the fans, the thanks you get in the end from the fans. That's the best part. Just being on stage, playing your music, seeing the people go crazy. Yeah, for me that's the best part.
There's so much left. We're still hungry to keep building the band. And one of the biggest dreams for me is to make this Retrospect show happen again, maybe in a tour way. So that's a big dream. I don't know if it ever will happen. If it won't happen, I won't be disappointed because we did it already. But if it's possible to take this production on the road, if there's the slightest possibility to do it, we grab it.
I would like to add nothing but what we always do, and that's thank the audience for following us and sticking by us. That's the most important thing, I guess.
Without the fans, Epica wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be given the opportunity to tour around the world. So I want to say thank you to all the fans from all over the world for being with us since the beginning. Until now, I hope we can share 10 more lovely years together, filled with beautiful memories, beautiful melodies, and great experiences. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, and see you on the next show.